Hello guys, it's Normal Player Guy. Okay, right, it's Zamasu time. Now he's been out a little while, so we're going to have a quick look to see what Int LR Fusion Zamasu is like. Now of course he does lead Worldwide Chaos and Patara, so we'll be checking him out on Patara mainly, just to see how he would fare. We will do a docking event, we shall try to see some attack stats, we shall try Super Battle Road, and we'll try a red zone up towards the end to see how we can fare in some of the most difficult content. Since he is a hype premium AAA blockbuster LR, we can expect to use him in said content. He has quite a wicked design, right? Okay, I'm going to jump straight into it. Okay then guys, right, okay, so this will be not a bad opener. We're only going to trigger a Fierce Battle and Legendary Power. So a bit about Zamasu. So he has an entrance animation and he gets 1 key per key or 5 turns if there is a Patara category ally on the team, which we have. Now, I'm using a guest. The guest does appear to be rainbow, so it's a bit more than I thought I'd like. But right, so a little bit about him. So he has 100% at the start of turn, 100% of stats, and reduces damage by 20%. That's pretty good itself. Then he greatly raises attack and defense on his 12 and 18 key, and he gets an extra 50% of stats on super attack. If you get an 18 key, he guarantees to launch an additional super attack. That's like the LR Turles, but even more powerful. Not only that, but if your key is 24, which is just not quite here, you are super effective against all types. And for every attack you receive, you also gain 1 key, and you also gain 2% damage reduction on top. That's up to 10, so you can end up with 30%. It's a lot to take in. But more importantly, he's currently at 147k defense. He's going to get 50% on top of that, 50% from his super attack effect, and then he's going to have another 50% from his super attack effect because he's doing an 18 key, so he'll trigger the 12 key passive. And this will just be a brilliant start to see how he fares with just no links. Of course, in the rest of the team, I have brought AGL Zamasu, who will trigger nearly every single link, LR Black, who will be quite good for LR Power and a few other links, and then I brought both AGL and STR Rose for a bit of offensive and defensive buffs, right? So let's see how we get on this. Actually, I can use this opportunity to take down just a couple of these most annoying people. Alright, so first opening. 4.78. Now bear in mind this guy is rainbow. I would prefer not to have that as a more general idea, because I mean only whales are the most extreme. Like again, there is the additional at just under 3 million. So he's done a little over 4 and then a little under 3. Oh wow, and then here we go, 3.5 million. Again, that's the hidden potential system, that one. This guy must be Spectral Dupes. So crazy amounts. And he was what? He has got to be close to 400k. He's absolutely nutty. That's ridiculous. Definitely a powerhouse, right? Patara Worldwide Chaos he leads, but for sure working around others like this, right? It's going to be absolutely insane. He doesn't really need support. With a Patara ally, which you will probably have, you'll gain the extra key. He is also, as I say, an int type orb changer, so it's even better to get his 24 key, which makes him super effective. The guy's just nutty. The guy's crazy. This is perfect. I'm going to float off Zamasu, and then I can come back with much more links. Alright, this will be perfect. We now have SDR Rose, who is a 50% and 3 key to Realm of God's Extreme Class allies, which of course we are, so we are going to be sharing Nightmare, Dismal Future, Big Bad Bosses and Fierce Battle, as well as Legendary Power. Okay, so this guy doesn't actually have Big Bad Bosses. I am having to use a guest because, again, I just don't have this guy. I wasn't that fortunate. Factor in mind he would still be missing Big Bad Bosses. Let's see. He's currently at 147k with various attack and key links. If he had Big Bad Bosses, which is an extra 25%, he'd be up to 180k, there or thereabouts, right? 180k at the start. And this is before he has his super attack effect and his super attack passive effect, right? So this would be quite nice. So he's going to hit way harder. We are not going to trigger, I tell you what, no, we'll be fine. Since Bujin's not going to do that much damage, and just in case he tries to seal us, this will be perfect. Of course, this should also automatically be super effective against all types. There's the int changer, by the way. It's just any, which makes him just extra valuable. Be very, very nice. So I expect this to be a much greater one. Remember, he was hovering around a 4 million in the first time round. So let's see what he see. There's the seal. So let's see what he can do this time around. Let's have a look. 6.67. Wow. And he's going to do another one. And he's super effective against all types. And he lowers attack. And there you go. 4.4. 4.4. And so that's basically 10 million attack stats he's done. And a hidden potential system could do more. Again, I would love it if this guy wasn't Rainbow, but I guess you get to see. Don't forget as well, his attack would have been higher if we're able to get Big Bad Bosses, but we're not able to get that in here. We're going to go for one more rotation, and hopefully we can get AGL Rose on the same rotation, so we can really buff his attack, and then we'll get Zamasu in, so we can really buff his defense. Okay, so this will be a great rotation as well. So Zamasu is going to be giving a lot more of the common links as Godly Power, Fuse, Fighter, Nightmare, Big Bad Bosses, Dismal Future and Fierce Battle. We won't be triggering Big Bad Bosses, of course, because this guy doesn't quite have him leveled up. But let's see what we're looking at now. 151, so that's ever so slightly higher. Remember, we'd be around this point touching around 183k defense if we had Big Bad Bosses, but for sure this would be a much higher attack stat. Do we actually lose anything? No, we are not, so we can actually stick on this. I'm actually going to do this. No, I will actually float you off. It's a bit of a shame. Really want all those orbs, that's the problem. So we'll do this. Keep you on. And let's see what we get here now. So this will be a really powerful attack stat. 7.18. So 7.2. 7.2 million. Super effective against all types. 4.65 with the additional. He greatly raises, and he's going to greatly raise again and again from part of his passive on super attack. The guy is absolutely insane, right? I mean, he's at 150k. That's without Big Bad Bosses. So he's going to have 75% from just super him. So that's going to put him, no, an extra 75k rather. So that's going to put him to, what, so in the realm of 250. And then he's going to get 50% on top of that. So that's going to put you around 350. And then an additional one. Yeah, he's pushing way north of 400k defense after 2 super attacks. That's absolutely crazy. I'm busting out 7 million attack stats. That's ridiculous. Right, I'm going to see if I can get in with a much higher attack stat and a much better defensive stat. Alrighty, perfect. This will be precisely it. So we're going to have 50% attack and defense and an extra 30% attack. So again, Zamasu can give a little bit more defense. This guy could give a little bit more attack. So we're looking at, again, around 150k, but said this time it's going to be ridiculous. I don't think we're going to be losing any extra, no. So we're only going to be triggering 3 links, so realistically, to get his best partner, you're going to want to activate links with AGL Zamasu with then STR Rose. That's probably the better way around of doing it, right? Easily going to have the 24 key, so let's see how we fare on this. So a bit of fiddling around with various units, but you're probably going to run that rotation, or at least having STR Rose. As I said when I did his tour, we got 7 million, again break 7 million. As I said when we did STR Rose's tour, he will be the guy to prop up the mega time units of this saga, right? Or the Goku Black saga. Definitely going to be the guy there. Just broke 7 million. Bear in mind, this is a rainbow, and I would like to test out someone that's 55 or 69%. So if you imagine that, it's probably going to be around 5.5 to 6 million. Overall, that was an impressive showcase. we'll take him into something much more difficult now, so we can test him out in more of a real world ideal scenario. Be it. This will be a great opening rotation. So at the start now we have 2 physical units for the Patara Super Battle Road, and we have probably a great rotation. I am going to throw him in slot 1 to see how he fares in this. So we'll likely lose out on some links. No, we'll likely only lose out on legendary power. So we will actually stick with this. In fact, you know what? Since we're not going to gain any more, we'll keep legendary power. Let's see, that is 24 key. So tell you what, let's go for this guy so we can actually take some extra hits. So what's he looking at now? So he's looking at, by the way, this guy is much more realistic. We have a 55%, I managed to find a great guess, 55%. This guy does not have all his links, in fact he's not done anything. So we're sitting at 112k defense with big bad bosses factoring 25%. You are looking at 133k defense there or thereabouts. So you're not really missing out too much from someone who is Rainbow, right? Of course, the difference between the Rainbow and now without the links is around, what, 30k. So 30k defense at the start is quite something, but after he's done all his super attacks and his super attack passives and all that, it's not going to matter too much. And let's see what we can do. I'll tell you what, right, we're moving on up, and we'll go for this one. So let's see a more realistic scenario for this guy. Perfect, super attack. Oh, huh, and it's the 5 dodge. That's a bit of a shame. 5 million, 5.15. I wish we'd actually have taken that to see how well his damage reduction fares. 5.15, and that's type disadvantage with a 3.3 following up. And this is type disadvantage, and he's easily able to sigh through this guy, right? Look at the damage. This guy had full health. Perfect, unless you dodge. Ha, of course. I mean, 2 super attacks, each greatly raising, with additional passive that greatly raises. Yeah, and 20% damage reduction. Yeah, it wasn't happening. This guy was just going to kick ass. Really impressive. This guy was definitely built to take on the much stronger events. Alright, I'm going to go into the next fight then. I'll catch up with you there. Okay, so let's have a look at this rotation. So we're going to be taking type neutral and type advantage as well. So we are going to have a little bit of support from Zamasu, boosting our defense by 50%, so we ain't going to lose any. And of course, our attack won't be as high as the 5 million, right? Now, of course, bear in mind, if we didn't have any of this support buff, we would be under 100k. Even on a rainbow one, you'd only be touching, well, probably 100k. So again, you ain't losing too much, and Zamasu's definitely needed, or STR Rose is definitely needed for support. So let's see how they fare in this one now. Again, we're going to be triggering 24 key, so that's super effective against all types, really important for events of this caliber. And then we shall see how everyone gets on. So what do we look like now? There might be some super attacks. Yes, this is type advantage, so this should be not much, 38k as you'd expect. 4.12, so 4.1 million, super effective against all types, not like it mattered on this, lowering attack, greatly raising defense, and the additional super attack for 2.6 million, greatly raising and lowering attack, by the way. So extraordinary. I'm a bit disappointed that someone of this caliber couldn't finish this Gotenks. You'd expect someone using that 55% to do that. I'd imagine then you need at least a duple 2 just to completely take him down. But without a doubt, you could probably Super Battle Road now, hell, even Extreme Super Battle Road will not be a problem. Remember, the difference between Extreme Super Battle Road and regular Super Battle Road is that the enemies are much more tankier. They don't really hit any harder, they're just extremely tanky, meaning you have more of a chance to get taken down. Alright, I am going to go into the last fight and see how he fares. Okay, now this ought to be a very good one. So we have type advantage going in against Gogeta, who will have in excess of around 50 million HP. We are going to have way more links. Let's see, we're not going to trigger legendary power, although that might be more. We'll probably trigger legendary power, I'll say. so then we can actually get a good idea as well. Zamasu, AGL Zamasu, when he comes back around, would trigger a few more links, so his attack would be slightly higher. As per normal, 90k now. So yes, same with the Rainbow Guest, except the Rainbow Guest will be touching 98k, 99k. You need a buff at the start, and this guy would need to super attack first. So he has 20% damage reduction, and he has 2% per time he gets hit within the turn. So we're going to be building up to 24% damage reduction, as much as that makes any difference at all. So let's see how we fare in this. Now, 90k, even with damage reduction and type advantage, if this guy supers, I predict it would still hurt, even in Super Battle Road. Now, Super Battle Road is far less scarier than the rest. I'm not too much worried about getting taken down in this, so we're just here just to see how Zamasu, the LR Zamasu, would fare. So if he does this well, he'll probably handle his own in Extreme Super Battle Road. We are looking at 4.12, pretty consistent. 4.12, he greatly raises, so he's at 150k. His passive also does that, so he's probably touching over 200. This will also greatly raise, so he's touching 300k. So he goes from under 100 to just north of 300k. There's a 5 dodge kicking in. Perfect. I'd imagine this now to be double digits. It's gotta be, right? Yeah, easy, easy. And with that in mind, actually, we'll probably survive. That being said, let's see how much damage AGL Zamasu takes. This has got to be hilarious. This guy has damage reduction, but he has no defense and there's no support. Actually, he's taken that extremely well. That was way worse. Alright, I'm pleased with that. We're going to go into, do you know what, let's take him into something harder, and let's take him into Cell Max. I want to see if I can actually get a rotation in the final phase to see how well he can hit. It's a bit annoying because he can probably one-shot half the team, but I'll keep going until I get a rotation. Okay, so this is Cell Max, so we're going to have a look. This will be a great opening rotation then. So we are with STR Rose. We will do this to get legendary power. So we got this Future Nightmare Fierce Battle. This guest is also at 55% and has no big bad bosses. So again, as it goes into the latter final stage, it might be a good idea to see just how much that actually helps. We had 112k, so it's about normal. If you have support at the start of the turn, you're going in over 100k. But it's not to worry after this guy supers, he's already going to be over 300k, right? Especially if you get his 18 key, that's kind of a large thing going there. We are with, of course, on the Patara team still. It's the only team I can run him on for now. And of course, that still then means he's getting +1 key per orb for the 5 turns, right? So we'll see how he fares in this turn. This should actually still be quite a decent attack stat. 4 million, by the way, by Rose. And a 5.1. So again, quite consistent. Hovering around, depending on rotations, depending on links, and depending on what support you get somewhere between 5 and 4 million. And there's a 3.6 right there. That's just the follow-up. Don't forget, if you get 24 key, you're super effective. Now, of course, that would be really good in the first few phases, but we're not really so much bothered with that, because what we really need to see is the final phase, because the first 2 phases, most people could probably just get by. So I'll come back on that following rotation. Okay, here we go on this one. This will be perhaps probably the best rotation going. So as I was saying before in the previous one, the best that you want to make it is you're probably going to want to have STR Rose, and then to trigger most of the links, you're probably going to want to run Zamasu to get a nice blend. So we're now sitting on 141k defense. This is 55% without big bad bosses, of course. So that would roughly mean that he'd be on the same level as STR Rose, because STR Rose does indeed, he's my one, does indeed have big bad bosses level 10, and this guy does as well. But even though this guy, even though he has it, he's still only at 100k. That's what happens when you have no defense in your passive. But we are now triggering a lot of links outside of legendary power. Of course, all of these are key and attack links, so they should fare fairly well on this. Now, what I want to say is, if he cannot handle these group attacks and these regular and this incoming normal attack, because he has type disadvantage, he will not fare overall that well in the final phase where he has type advantage. So let's see what we get here. So of course we're easily able to get his 24 key. More importantly, his 18 key, to get his 12 key, but now he's super effective against all types. So we should be looking pretty good there. And of course that helped to heal us up a bit. 4 million by Rose, but we've seen his tour before, so we know what he's capable. So he is pretty good. And another double 4. Please don't finish this guy. We really like to see what the best rotation for Zamasu could do. Alrighty, here we go. So here's one of the group attacks. Nothing for Rose. 24k, so on the disappointing side. It's hard to say, isn't it? Okay, there we go. It's hard to tell which one's actually which in this. I'm going to imagine the one that's 7 million, by the way. 7 million, 55%. It's hard to know which one of them took the 20 odd K. But 7 million, wow, 55%, and then a 4.6, super effective against all types, against Cell Max in the second phase. Yeah, the guy's doing okay. Now, perfect, we timed this right. Super attack, type disadvantage after 2 supers. Double digits. Okay. So we are looking set for the final phase. So it is going to be the monstrous power of that tech phase to take this guy down if he takes damage, right? And let's see. Yeah, now taking next to nothing. Yeah, he's now taking next to nothing. And Zamasu's actually coping in quite well. He will get us destroyed though. He will have type disadvantage entering the final phase, but it's not really that problem. This is perfect though, because we're at full health. Pretty much, we're able to finish off this guy within this rotation, and so we'll come back around on the first rotation with Zamasu and Rose with the best possible setup. So that's something that we can do. I tell you what, I'm going to use this guy to. Who's got the better defense? It's going to be you. So you. I should explain the reason why he has the better defense is he has his easy A already, but he will have a tour on the next coming round. Right, okay, so we'll finish this. This is fantastic. It all just lined up beautifully. I doubt this team would be able to beat Cell Max in the last 4. It's just not going to cut it. Nowhere near that capability of power. Right, this guy will have the next video. His easy A makes him tremendous. Alright, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to use a Sensu Beam, and we're going to be able to heal up a bit, and perfect. We even have Zamasu, Tech Zamasu, as a means to show up his defense for the best amount. So we'll just pop one of these, and there's loads of attacks at the start. You know what? I could not have asked for a better start. Of course, we're still triggering the free links. We are now at 135k. The reason being is Tech Zamasu is also giving the same amount of defensive buff as Rose, so we're getting 100% support on defensive ability. If Big Bad Bosses was around, you would be touching over 180k defense with 20% damage reduction. Now this will probably be our last rotation because Zamasu will get us killed at the end, but not only that, this would be a perfect idea to see how a 55% with not really much in the way of links goes, how does he fare? We are able to get 24 key, so that's brilliant. So if this guy is going to do damage, right? Not going to be a problem with this. He isn't going to have the, I think it's Artificial Life Form and Special Pose that actually has the additional damage buff. There are several categories that will do more damage, and specifically more damage against him to the tune of 210%. But outside of that, he's still going to do crazy amounts of damage. So let's see what we get. Okay, 115k. Ugh. That is not great. This is before he needs the super, and 563 takes us out of the game. So the thing with that is then, as you got to imagine them, is so he would need the super in order to actually get away from doing that. So it's one of those. If he was taking 100k on the normal, you would probably imagine that he's taking less than that, significantly less than that. When it comes round to it. So I can probably end the video there because that was a good idea. But yeah, so overall I'd say Zamasu's probably not too bad. He's pretty good as it comes into it, this guy here. So he is pretty good when it all round comes to it. He's a great orb changer. he has brilliant defense and offensive stacks after he attacks. If you get his 18p, he's even more impressive. He can help out, as you've seen, in Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road. His attacks are even at 55%. Going to be pushing north of 5 million, 7 million actually in some cases. You have some dupes and you're really just going to see this guy really flesh out in power. As you saw with Cell Max, no matter the capability of this guy, he has to go first. No doubt though, he would have taken next to nothing after he would have done his 2 supers. And that's going to be for sure. But as you saw then, just because this guy got taken down immediately by Cell Max, he is a horrendous boss. It's taken the likes of Cell Max to take this guy down, so red zone this guy be fine. If there wasn't a super attack at the start and it was just regular attacks, we might have survived. And then the following attack, even if it was a super, would have done significantly less damage. Probably to the tune of under 300k, right? So I'm going to end the video there. It's a good unit, very well thought out, powerful, but you do need to super first. As you can see, we had that last rotation, the last 2 rotations were the best setups. You can have AGL Zamasu for the links in STR Rose, and STR Rose with Tech Zamasu, or AGL Rose buffing either attack and defense. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all the next time. Bye bye.